This is True Sports and a live broadcast.
What up, what up, what up? What up, everybody? Welcome to Unhinged Sports Talk with Andy and Chris. I myself am Andy, and here to my side I have Chris. Say hello to people, everybody. Or Chris.
Hello, people.
Hello. All right, so since we never really kind of share that much about ourselves, we should just share our deepest feelings with the world out there. No, I'm just playing.
Emotions.
All of our deepest scare or whatever we're afraid of, our heart's desires. No, I'm just playing. So you do anything interesting recently?
Just been working.
Working? You excited about that?
Yeah.
Doesn't seem that excited. So anyways, let's get right to it. So what do you think about this Jeff Fisher getting fired finally?
All I can say is finally.
About time.
A lot of people were saying that they didn't think it was going to happen until the offseason, but I felt like, I think the Rams front office is smarter than that. There's no point in holding on to him until the offseason. At least now they can put all the feelers out there and start getting people's attention and interview people that don't currently have jobs.
Yeah, which is good. I mean, they're getting a head start on it. I personally was one of those that I thought that they were going to wait it out just because they're just, they're not going to get into playoffs. They don't really have anything else that they can gain or lose at this point. I mean, all they're going to do is just let the people play. One thing that I did like about after this whole ordeal or throughout the whole process this last week was that we finally heard from Todd Gurley, which we haven't really heard of him expressing his frustrations since the beginning of the season. He's always just been like, you know what? That's on me. I need to get better. I need to find those holes in the line. I need to make those cuts. I need to, do what I got to do. This time, when they were asking him about it, and this was before Fisher got fired, he was just saying, I don't think a lot of people are showing up. I don't think a lot of people are coming here to play and giving it their all. And he said, and that's what we need to do. We need to make sure we're always here and we compete in every single game. I don't know if that was just like a little small telltale sign where they're finally kind of showing the frustration how the team lost. Fisher lost the team. No one wants to play for him at this point. Nobody wanted to go to war for him, which is what a team needs and what a coach needs from the team. So I just thought it was really interesting that he finally spoke out about it and he expressed his frustrations. And maybe that's what the team needed, somebody to kind of just call each other out and just kind of put them back in line and say, you know what, hey, he's right. Let's get back on this. And now with Fisher gone, could be like a little fresh start, even though they're not going to do anything. Could be good momentum to lead to the next season.
Yeah. So there's a lot of names out there. Of course, we're going to get all the heavy hitters, right? We're going to get John Gruden. We're going to get...
Are you talking about coaches?
Yeah. Harbaugh, Carroll. See, the thing is that rumors are that Pete Carroll's not interested. He's happy being in Seattle.
Wait, is his contract up in Seattle?
No.
Oh, okay.
So he would have to... Yeah, they would have to buy him out. Jim Harbaugh, I'm reading, is not interested. But John Harbaugh.
But no, well, even with Jim, I don't know if I would take that as, literal. Yeah, I did hear where he was saying, those are just our enemies that are just, what did he say? He's like, he can call them a name. It was funny, but it was kind of corny name, but it was pretty entertaining. But he was just saying that it's all just a bunch of rumors and none of it holds no merit. But right. I mean, I know that was a big name. Everybody was focused on Jim Harbaugh. I don't think he would leave Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The thing is that, who was it that talked about it? I believe it was, I want to say it was Steve Mason that made the point. But he made a great point. He said, the Rams need a builder, and if you look at a Jim Harbaugh or a Pete Carroll or, somebody that is famous for building things. Pete Carroll, he went to USC and built a winner. He went to Seattle and built a winner. Jim Harbaugh has done the same thing at the NFL level and at the college level.
And he did it quick in college.
Right.
Extremely quick.
So I think both those guys would be amazing options. I don't think Pete Carroll we even have a shot in the dark against him. But
for sure. I think that's like 0% chance. Harbaugh, a little more, but I don't think we'll get him.
Right. A name that has a lot of traction. Well, Jim Harbaugh, a lot of the insiders believe that there's some traction to that. They believe that, yes, of course, he's going to play politics and he's going to say, no, it's all rumors. But his name has been tied to it on a deeper level, to the point where insiders have already been talking about it.
Talking about Jim?
Yeah, Jim. And people in the inner circles believe that there is actually something to it.
The only reason I would think that we, LA, and when I say we, I mean LA or, the Rams have a shot at getting him is if he still has a desire to win a Super Bowl, because that's the only thing he didn't accomplish in the NFL. He built up San Francisco and he took them to the Super Bowl. He took them, he built up that offensive line and he grabbed a great team. They didn't win it. I think that's the last thing he's missing from the NFL. If he's content in college, he's at his alma mater right now. He's, he built up a team in he's only been there, 2 seasons, I think. And it's already a top 10 school or top 10 program.
Right.
So I don't know. I just think he's done so much there. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I just the Rams would have to really, really make it worth his while, which, I mean, Kroenke has the money for it.
Yeah, if they throw enough money at him. Yeah. Here's the thing. So these are the names that are the top names out there right now, who are reportedly either have interest or the Rams have interest in them.
Okay.
And it's John Gruden, Jim Harbaugh, Pete Carroll, David Shaw, Josh McDaniels, Kyle Shanahan.
McDaniels, that's the offensive coordinator from the Patriots.
Right. He had coached the Broncos for a short period and just couldn't get anything going. I don't think it was necessarily all on him.
I think he was just too young.
Well, I think it was a little bit of not being ready, but at the same time, he didn't have the right team for, the right moment, Their defense was still developing.
Yeah, it wasn't there yet.
They didn't really have much of an offense. He was still trying to piece things together, and he did okay.
So just right place, wrong time, though?
Right. I think out of all those names, I think we can cross off John Gruden. Yes, he is a football mastermind, but if we're being honest with ourselves, he's been out of the game for a really long time, and I would struggle hiring him. He's been out for a really, really long time.
Dude, he makes $6.5 million just to be a broadcaster. So he's the what I read is highest paid salary for an on-air personality. I think he's comfortable, and he doesn't have to do that every single day. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a lot
he would
less
have
work,
to have the passion to do it.
Yeah, he's in a great position right now. Where he's at.
So the only names that really make sense to me, Kyle Shanahan. The Redskins tried that, didn't work out. I think that the best bet for the Rams is either going to be Jim Harbaugh or Josh McDaniels. Now, on one side, Jim Harbaugh is a builder, so we know that he'll rebuild this team and he'll get it in the right direction within 5 years. I absolutely believe that. I think he'll do it within 3 years. Yeah. But is there a cap to that? Do we have him just rebuild it and then we look for a young up and coming coach to come in after that? Then you have Josh McDaniels, who is a stud young coach. He's a great offensive coordinator, really good with Tom Brady loves him, so he's really good with quarterbacks, and he knows his stuff. He's a genius on the offensive end. I said Tom Brady.
Yeah, the GOAT, the greatest of all time.
No, I didn't say GOAT.
No, but he is the GOAT.
We're not talking about Kobe Bryant right now.
We're talking about football. We're talking about Tom Brady.
6 plays.
Brett Favre? No.
No, I know Tom Brady, the GOAT.
So I like Josh McDaniels. I think it would be a slower process. I think we would have to have patience. But I think Josh McDaniels, do exactly what, the Lakers are doing. Bring in a young coach who's a stud in what he does and try that. I don't know. I would be happy with either one, Jim Harbaugh or Josh McDaniels. Those are my 2 favorite picks. What about you?
Jim Harbaugh, obviously. I don't want to put all my thoughts into actually happening. I don't want to get my hopes up. I think that'd be amazing. Then again, even if they get like a temporary coach right now to just kind of lead us into the new stadium, if Jim Harbaugh wins a national championship before then, I think that changes a lot, and I think that could give the Rams a bigger chance. Josh McDaniels isn't a bad choice. I just don't know as far as he's great offensive coordinator. I'm not taking that away. Just as a head coach, it would be a different animal to tackle. I have heard about what's his name, Jim Bob Cooter from the Lions. I think he's an offensive coordinator, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I have heard talks of that being a whisper as well. Wouldn't be a bad thing. I mean, look what he's done with the Lions this season, or with that team without Megatron. So I think that's an interesting option. Not really sure if it's the best fit, but those are the best ones I have.
So staying with the Rams, I think we can all agree that one of the things that the Rams struggle with most right now is receiving. But there's something interesting to think about. There are a lot of extremely talented free agents coming up this offseason. Now, it's sad that we're still in the season and we're talking about the Rams offseason already, but nobody's thinking that they still have a chance, right? Like everybody knows that the season is over and that we need to look towards the future. So with that being said, I'm going to throw a couple names out there. And you tell me which one you think they have a realistic shot, knowing that they will throw cash at a receiver, knowing that they have open pockets. Which one of these receivers you think they have the best shot at? Okay,
Right, shoot.
we
Wait,
have
quick question though. Okay, I'm gonna look up our cap room because I know we have the money, but we still have they still have to make cap room, and I know they just freaking gave Tavon Austin that $40-something million contract for 4 years, but
hopefully they can trade that in the offseason.
That would be great.
Okay, so you got Alshon Jeffrey, Pierre Garçon,
Good.
Deshaun Jackson,
Beast.
okay, Steve Smith,
That dude has so much heart.
right?
He's a little monster.
Brandon LaFell
Not bad.
from Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Michael Floyd, who had kind of a down season, but he was amazing with the Chargers.
Actually, he could be available now because the Cardinals just released him today, I think, for having that DUI on Monday.
Right. So,
so
there's a little bit of risk there, but there's high reward.
Yeah.
Let's see, Ted Ginn Jr.
Not bad.
Okay.
He's a deep threat.
Right. I'm going to give you a couple more. One is Brian Quick, who is on the Rams now. We need to re-sign him. He's hooked up with Jared Goff a lot, and they look really good together. Okay. So here's another one, and this one is a big one. Terrell Pryor.
Terrell Pryor. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Dude,
and let me give you one more.
All right.
Let me give you one more. All right. There's one more who is young. He's a bit of a stud, and I think this one would be a big one for them. Robert Woods from Buffalo.
That's not bad. Dude,
all of these players are over 500 yards so far this year.
Oh, so they're better than all of the Rams' current receivers. Got it.
Yeah, I mean, except for Brian Quick. Brian Quick's got 503, so he's right there on the bubble.
Oh, wow.
Well, I mean, Kenny Britt has 937 yards, so that's not bad.
Okay, and I just looked it up. The Rams next year, as of now, have $40 million of cap room for next year. So they have some money to work with. Yeah. I mean, granted, we're not going to spend all of it on receivers.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you look at, like, for instance, Alshon Jeffrey is making $14 million this year.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the most expensive one.
Right. So if you throw the most money at him, why not?
Yeah. No, I think I don't think you can really go wrong in that. The only thing, I mean, he got suspended this year for 4 games for PEDs or, whatever. They're always testing and they'll get people here and there. I don't think he'll do it again. I don't think it's something he's going to, I don't think it's a risk that much, but that would be high reward.
Terrell Pryor only made $1 million this past year. Well, 1.6.
Well, because it was his first year converting from quarterback to receiver.
Right.
But he's a great receiver. He's possibly the only thing that Cleveland has going good right now.
Right.
I don't know if I don't think that they're going to let him see free agency, though. I think they're going to franchise tag him.
Yeah. But, I mean, if he does, I would throw max money at him.
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely. That guy has the opportunity to, change the Rams completely.
So out of all those, which one would you pick for the Rams? Or which one do you think is most realistic for the Rams?
Realistically, I think they have a better shot with, like, Pierre Garçon because I don't think that the Redskins are are gonna re-sign him. I have been hearing whispers like since the beginning of the season that him and Deshaun are most likely gonna see free agency. Deshaun will be a great addition. The only thing is that I have heard also, I'm an Eagles fan, that the Eagles are gonna heavily pursue getting him back. That they want him back badly. So I know that they're gonna throw a lot of money at him. But I mean, if it's a bidding war, Rams do have money.
Yeah, my opinion is that I think they have a really realistic shot at Alshon Jeffrey, but I think Pierre Garçon would be a huge pickup, and they need to keep Kenny Britt and Brian Quick. So I think with Quick and Britt, if we could add a superstar wide receiver to that, we're set. And we just need to start working on that offensive line.
Bruh.
Oh, yeah, definitely. No, but yeah, those are some good choices. Not bad. We'll see what they do in the offseason. All right, so I did want to go on into another team. Did you see the Cowboys-Giants game over the weekend? I know we're a little late.
No,
we're
I didn't.
A little late. All right. Well, the game ended. It was a low-scoring game. I think it was 10-7. The Cowboys scored first. They scored kind of early on. Dak passed to Terrence Williams, I think is his name. And then Odell scored the other touchdown for the Giants. A lot of before I get there, do you think the Giants are the Cowboys' kryptonite now? A lot of people are saying that just because they're the only team that has beaten them, and they've beaten them twice this year already.
The Giants seem to be everybody's kryptonite towards the end of the season. It's weird,
dude. There was like a bunch of memes where like Eli's like lining up, and it's like, that's a great streak you have. Be ashamed if somebody were to ruin it. Or it's like, undefeated since the last time we played you. We'll take care of that again.
Right.
There's where it's like you can't spell Dallas without 2 L's. Or you can't spell elite without Eli. People were creative. It was hilarious. But yeah, dude, that's one thing I have been saying for a few weeks. The Giants, they're still obviously in the race for the playoffs. If they get in, do not sleep on them. Yep. They have this history of barely sneaking into the playoffs. They've snuck into the playoffs barely, and gave the Patriots that 1 year where they were undefeated the whole season, and they gave them their only loss in the Super Bowl. They've beaten the Patriots in the Super Bowl twice. They're scary, and it was a good game. But yeah, one other thing is that a lot of fans were on social media and were screaming out for the Cowboys to take out Dak Prescott already. They're not in the playoffs. This is one of he didn't have an amazing game last week, and this week he still scored a touchdown. I know he threw 2 interceptions, but he's still a rookie. Like, he's learning. He led them for this 11-game winning streak, and they're already in their second loss of the season. They already clinched the playoff spot, and they're calling for his head already. What do you think? A lot of people want Romo back in.
I understand it. It's a tough decision to make. I think you have to stick with the young guy, especially after having Romo march out there and give his support. But if I'm the coach, I have to really sit down and think about this hard. Because you're talking about having a rookie take your team through the playoffs, trying to go to the Super Bowl, versus taking a seasoned veteran who statistically is one of the – doesn't matter. Statistically, he is one of the greatest. It's like, okay, put it this way. If you have Kershaw or De Leon. De Leon is a promising prospect, and Kershaw is a seasoned veteran who is one of the best pitchers in the game. Romo is one of the best quarterbacks in history. Okay, statistically,
passer.
Yes,
rating,
regular season, right? Okay, but that's what I'm talking about. That's why I'm using Kershaw as a reference.
No, but Kershaw is possibly arguably the best pitcher of all time.
Most of the best pitchers would say he's the best of all time.
Yeah,
but
I don't
again,
think
the reason why,
right?
But listen to what I'm saying. The reason why I use Kershaw as an example is because Kershaw has been known to choke in the postseason. Romo has been known to choke in the postseason. So my point is if you have Game 7 in the the championship series and your World Series is on the line, are you going to march out the rookie De Leon, who's a really talented rookie, or are you going to march out the vet who what he has? And so that's why I say if I'm the coach, I have to really sit and think about this. And it's a struggle because you're talking about arguably one of the greatest regular season quarterbacks of all time, somebody who's taking your team deep into the playoffs, and a rookie. That is a really tough decision to make. So all I'm saying is I would not want to be the coach of that team right now. I'm not saying you make that decision because Dak Prescott had a bad week. I don't think that you rush and make a decision because Dak Prescott had a bad week. I think you really seriously sit and think about, do I want a rookie carrying my team through the playoffs? That is a tough decision to make.
I don't think it's a tough decision at all. I would 100% just go behind Dak. This team believes in Dak. This team is already, they have that momentum, they have that flow, they have that chemistry already with this rookie quarterback because he led him through 11 straight victories. Him and Ezekiel Elliott, the other rookie, running back, they're great. They have that chemistry. Dak has a chemistry with the receivers. Like he is that team. It's his team. If you sub him in or take him out and put in Romo, you have that risk of losing the team and losing that momentum and losing the chemistry. It takes a while to build, and that's
why
not
I say
easy.
it's so tough.
I don't think it's tough. It's a big risk to take him out, and I don't think Dak having a few bad games you ruin that. I think he has.
I agree with you. I would not want to be the coach of the Cowboys.
Oh, I would. I mean, I hate the Cowboys, but I mean, in that decision, I don't think it's a hard decision. I would easily just say, let's keep going with Dak. You don't just throw something. You don't throw something away just because of one.
Right, but let me give you another example. Okay, Cowboys fans are ready to crucify Dak Prescott because he had one bad week. Okay,
Cowboys fans are some of the most irrational fans that
right.
there are out there, though.
Okay, so now you tell me this: as a coach of the Cowboys, you make this decision, you're going to have to live with it regardless of what happens, whether it works or it doesn't work. So if Dak Prescott goes into the playoffs, which teams, everybody knows playoffs are a different animal. Teams are much better in the playoffs. It's a lot harder to win in the playoffs than it is in the regular season. Tony Romo could tell you about that, right? So you're the coach. You make that decision. You go with Dak. You lose in the first round of the playoffs after having such an amazing season. They will crucify him. Both of them.
They have the risk of same thing happening with Tony Romo, especially Tony Romo. If you put him in like right when you go into the playoffs, he's going to be rusty. He's not going to be the same Tony Romo. Yeah. He's not going to have the same chemistry with the team as a whole because it's Dak's team at the moment.
Keep in mind, I'm not making arguments for putting Romo in. I'm making arguments for how difficult of a decision this actually is.
I personally don't think it's a difficult decision. I mean, I think it's good. It's a good, discussion to have because it's a lot of people are having this same discussion. I just do firmly believe it's Dak's time. Let him, learn. If he loses in the first round, it's his first year. You're gonna have 10 to 15 years more of this. He's gonna get better. He's probably not gonna win the whole thing right now. And to be honest with you, I don't think Romo's going to win the whole thing anyways either. I think it's good. It's good for him to learn. Instead, if, let's say you take Dak out, you put Romo in, hypothetically, Romo gets hurt in the first or second game, and then you put Dak back in, the chemistry's not going to be the same. And it's not going to be the same. He's probably going to be a little upset with the team or with the owners, whatever happens. But, I mean, he's going to lose some of that momentum.
I agree with you. I think what has to happen is they have to make the decision to either stick with him or not. Because here's the thing. You put Romo back in and you take Dak out, you're going to lose Dak.
Oh, yeah.
Like his confidence is gone.
And that's what I'm saying.
So that's what I'm saying. There's so many aspects to it because, Jerry Jones does not want – for him, it's Super Bowl or bust. If you don't go to the Super Bowl this year, he's going to start cleaning house. That's what he does. So my thought is that, that's why I say it's such a tough decision because the reality is that you have a better shot of getting through the playoffs with Tony Romo. Regardless of how good Dak has looked this year, I don't care. You have a better shot of getting to the Super Bowl with a seasoned veteran who's been there, done that, and knows what those pressure games are like.
And
Dak does not know what
lost.
those games feel like.
Nah,
he does not know what those games feel like.
Romo's not good in the playoffs. Like you
I'm
said,
not saying
great.
Romo is the better player in
no.
the playoffs.
Romo's
I'm
great
saying he
regular
gives you the
season.
better chance to win.
I don't think so, especially this late in the season. If it would have happened a couple of games ago, maybe because he would have probably built that momentum, that chemistry with the team again. Their team has changed. Every team changes within a year. Free agency, you release some players, some players retire, you get rookies in, you get free agents in. So it's not the same team that it was when Tony Romo was commanding that team last year. It's a lot different. So I just don't think he'll have that same success that he would have, if he already played half the season or the full season with them.
This debate right here is why the Raiders are my favorite to win the Super Bowl.
Why? Because they lost against the Chiefs last week?
No,
Did you see
because
that? They got destroyed. Great game. It was a good game. Though. It was
right.
a good game.
I mean, come on. The Giants came in as a wild card and won the Super Bowl. And this is coming from somebody who's not a Raiders fan and is a fan of a team in the same division.
Yeah.
So I'm not necessarily. I'm rooting for the Raiders to win because I love what they've done. They've created something organic and they have a really cool thing going. And I love Derek Carr.
Dude, Khalil Mack is a beast.
Right. I mean, Derek Carr is an animal, and he's such a skilled guy and very humble. So I really like what they're doing up there. So I'm rooting for them to go to the Super Bowl and win it because of what they've been able to do and how they've done it. That being said, they're my favorite because I feel like they have the most tight-knit group. You're not having debates like this about their team. There's no position in question.
Everyone plays their role,
right.
And you know whose team it is. You know who's starting, and
that's why people pick the Patriots.
Yeah,
because there's no, everybody knows their role, and everybody does it the best of their ability.
And they have the GOAT.
They have a GOAT?
No, yeah, Tom Brady. He's the GOAT. Isn't that more like a sheep?
I don't know. Whatever. they literally have a GOAT.
No,
is he like in the locker room or on the
as
sidelines?
an acronym, the greatest of all time, Tom Brady.
Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant's the only GOAT that I know about.
Yeah, right. If you're talking about basketball, GOAT would be Jordan. Kobe would be like GOAT.
Debatable.
Like 0.5.
Debatable.
We could have that debate another one because that will take an hour in itself. But no, see, hey, have I not been calling the Raiders since before the season started? I've been saying the Raiders were going to be a problem for a while.
Yeah, both of us have been really high on them.
They're gonna go far in the play. I don't know if they'll win the Super Bowl this year, but I mean I've been saying it for a while. I think that they'll get some playoff experience this year, and if they don't win it, I honestly don't think they will. I'll say that now. I hope they surprise me. They will be heavy contenders in the next 2 years. I think that they will. If they don't get it this year, they might.
Yeah. I mean, they have the receivers tied up.
Yeah, I mean,
the quarterback tied up.
They've developed much better this year than I anticipated. I still expect them to be great, but they might even get it next year if they don't get it this year. What do you think about the Seahawks? Did you see how they just kind of collapsed against the? We were watching that game.
Yeah, you and
together.
I watched that game together.
Yeah, against the Packers. Dude,
you know what though?
I told you when what's his name? I think it was Earl Thomas went out in the defense. It changed the dynamic of their defense.
It had nothing to do with. It had everything to do with the fact that those receivers had like oil on their hands. It was unbelievable. Like you look at Russell Wilson's stats for last week, and you would be like, "Oh my gosh, what happened to him? He fell apart."
5 picks, but those were not all on him.
Right. There was only one that I saw that was really him. Throwing it to a defender. Other than that, I saw that ball pop out of those guys' hands so many times, and I don't understand it because it's wet and cold in Seattle. So what was their excuse? So many times they got hit in the hands and just popped right out. One guy got hit in the face mask.
Or that other guy, I don't know.
It went through his hands, hit him in the face mask, bounced in the air, and the defender took it and ran with it. Unbelievable, man. So I feel for Russell Wilson. That really sucks.
Dude, but the defense did not do their part is what I'm saying. The what's his name? Aaron Rodgers. The Packers, they look like the old Packers that we anticipated this season. I haven't really gotten that glimpse of them this year. Aaron Rodgers was dominating them, and that's what I'm saying. When they lost that huge defensive presence in their backfield, that I want to say it was Earl Thomas who got injured. If not, then I'll fix that later. But anyways, I'll go with it. Earl Thomas, when they lost him, it made a huge impact, and it weakened them. There was a stat going around when their 3 key defenders don't play, it's not the same. They lose that they have a lot less turnovers. The opposing team scores a lot higher percentage-wise or statistically than any other game when they have the whole Legion of Boom together. They didn't have them. It was the first game. I understand it was their first game without them, but they looked weak. They didn't look like that dominated defense that we're used to seeing in Seattle.
Yeah, those receivers were terrible. I feel bad for Russell Wilson. So playoff picture right now. So right now we're looking at for divisions in the AFC, we're looking at New England, Pittsburgh, with Baltimore right on their heels. Texans and Titans are deadlocked for the division. The bummer about that is whichever one of them does not win the division won't make it into the playoffs, because then you have the AFC West, you have Kansas City and Oakland tied for first at 10-3. So one of those guys is going to take the division. The other one's going to take the wild card spot. That leaves the Dolphins right now with the second wild card spot.
Who are surprisingly good. The only thing is that
they just lost their quarterback.
Ryan Tannehill is the only thing I was going to say. But their backup came in, and he wasn't that bad either.
And he's a good quarterback.
Way, it was Earl Thomas. I just looked it up.
Yeah. Moore is a good quarterback, but he's not good enough to carry them into the good thing is for them is that season's almost over. So if they can rely on their defense to carry them the rest of the season, they have a really good chance at holding on to that wild card spot. But like I said, Tennessee's right there. It's either going to be them or the Texans. The Ravens. I mean, there's a deadlock right now for the second wild card spot. You're talking about Dolphins right now have it, but right on their heels are the Ravens and either Texans or Titans. And then actually, I didn't even think about the Broncos too. So right now it's Miami and Denver that have the wild card spots locked up. So it's going to be a tight race in the AFC. NFC. We have Dallas, who have already locked up a playoff spot. Then we have Detroit in the north. And we have the Falcons in the south, who are tied with Tampa Bay.
Dude, the Falcons are crazy. And Tampa Bay, they're
man,
good. Their
Tampa Bay is on
killing.
a roll.
Dude, their
man.
defense is showing up because
their offense too.
No, their offense will be good, but then they have this weird thing where in the second half of the game they don't really show up as much as they did the first half. They'll go, be on fire, and they'll score in the first half. In the second half, I mean, they just won't mess it up. They won't, turn the ball over. They won't just, not do anything, but they just don't score as much. But their defense has been consistent. Their defense has, been winning them games, getting those much-needed interceptions at the end of the game.
You know what the beautiful thing is, though, for Tampa Bay? They have gone ahead and locked up a wild card spot for themselves.
Nice.
Because
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, because whichever one of those teams takes the division, the other one will end up with the wild card. Because right now there's nobody else close.
That's a good cushion,
Minnesota. Well, Minnesota, I guess Minnesota or Green Bay could take it, but I think they're a long shot. I think that right now with a 1-game lead, the Bucs or the Falcons have a better shot at it.
Yeah.
But right now the wild card is the Giants, because the Redskins had a collapse and have fallen out of the picture now, and the Buccaneers are the two teams holding the wild card spots. The Seahawks have the West locked up. I mean, nobody's even close to them. So, yeah, man. I mean, the NFC is kind of weak aside from the top teams, and with the exception of the Giants and the Bucs.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see the Bucs back in the playoffs, man.
Yeah, dude, it'll be good. They're a fun team. I mean, I have Mike Evans on a few of my fantasy leagues, so he's been killing it. Last 2 games hasn't been that great, but he had that monster game with against Seattle. He scored 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, and he ended up catching for over 100 yards, which is just crazy. I just want to share one stat that one of our listeners asked me to share. He actually reached out to me and said, hey, just let Chris know that Bill Belichick can go 0-16 for 6 years and still have a higher winning percentage than Jeff Fisher.
Is that supposed to be like? Is this supposed to offend me or something?
Just because you hate the Patriots. No, also
I don't hate the Patriots. I don't like cheaters, and Belichick and Brady are cheaters.
But you like Kobe, who cheated on his wife. Anyway, so also
you always want to take like personal shots at Kobe. Like, what does this have to do with Kobe and his personal life?
Well, just because
This has to do with in the game.
well, no, it didn't happen in the game. Oh, did you actually hear that supposedly the Giants were saying that the Steelers deflated their footballs as well last week? And that's getting no coverage is the only thing I'm saying. You know,
Because nobody cares now.
well, because people like to paint the Patriots as bad guys. Anyways, okay, one other stat that they did want me to share with you, and they said that at home, you know, in Gillette Stadium, Tom Brady is 50-1 against AFC teams, including the Chargers.
Yeah, I mean he's
GOAT.
He's the
Goat.
Chargers' kryptonite.
No, he's the league's kryptonite. Go. Imagine, all right, at the moment, I don't know, you probably won't agree with this. At the moment, he's still heavily favored to win, or not heavily, but he's favored to win the MVP. If he does, missing 4 games, how hilarious would that be? I actually would really like to see that, just so I hope Roger Goodell has to hand him the trophy. It could be that awkwardness.
Why would it be awkward? If I was Roger, I'd say, here you go.
Because
You didn't earn it. You're a cheater.
how did he not earn it this season? There's been no
Look,
proof of him cheating.
The only
We're talking about this season only. I'm only talking about that accomplishment.
The only thing that's saving Tom Brady is the fact that he is a great quarterback, so he's going to put up great numbers.
He's one of the best quarterbacks of all time.
Right. I would never vote for Barry Bonds to go to the Hall of Fame. Never.
Well,
Why?
This isn't Hall of
because
Fame.
he cheated.
This is MVP.
Right. So I wouldn't vote him for MVP either. He shouldn't get MVP either. Right? Tom Brady's the same thing. I'm sorry. He cheated multiple times, has been caught multiple times, and yet we are celebrating him like he's some phenomenal player.
Okay, what
happens to an athlete in the Olympics if they cheat?
Wait, what has he cheated?
What happens to an athlete in the Olympics if they win a medal and they cheat? Their medals are revoked.
Okay, what I'm asking is what has he cheated on besides the deflated footballs? I think the other one should go against Belichick, not necessarily Brady. The recording the other team, I think that's a coach thing. I don't think that was Tom Brady's decision.
He utilized the cheating to win.
The coach gave him the game plan and said, "Here, do this. This is what they're gonna run. When you hear them line up like this, you use this play."
And if I give you a blueprint to a bank in order to get into a vault, aren't you going to be kind of curious as to how I got that or why I got that?
Well, not really, because I wouldn't. The only reason I would be if you're going to give me a blueprint for a bank is to rob it. Tom Brady, the only reason he's on that field is to play football. Regardless if the coach cheated or not, he's still going to be on the field. So that's a great analogy. It's the same. It's not the same thing.
My point is that he was involved in the cheating teams out of victories because he utilized the information.
So you think
the cheated information? So you think to win the games?
You think the defense of the Patriots and the whole team was in on it?
They were all. If they utilized the information that was gotten illegally in cheating form, then yes, they are all cheaters.
So if somebody gives you notes, all right, you're in school. They say, here are some notes I took from class. You take the notes, and you don't know that, but it's the answers. It's not in the format where it says 1 is A, 2 is B, but it gives you the exact. You know, it's a hard teacher who's always giving you these, you know, those hard questions or whatever, and you get an A on the test because you had those notes, and then later on you find out, yeah, he got the answer to the test and he gave them to you. That's not necessarily your fault.
If I use them during the test, then yes, that's cheating.
No, I'm just saying.
But that's my point. Like I get your analogy. I get what you're trying to do with it.
I'm just saying.
But
you studied.
But Tom Brady used it during the test. That's why it's cheating.
The only thing
he had it on his arm to use it during the test.
No,
that's cheating.
It's not the same thing though.
It is.
His coach is telling them run this play, because the coach is on the sideline Okay, I see how they're lined up. I know how we can beat that formation. It's not the same thing. I don't think
Because
Brady
the coach
was
gave
looking
me
at
the notes last night from the tape recordings. Oh, I watched this on film last night because coach gave me the video.
Do we know? Do we know that he watched the video? From what I
Okay,
remember,
we'll all
is that,
play dumb.
No,
we'll all play dumb. He didn't know.
Well, the only thing I'm saying is I don't think that the team was in on it. I think it's Belichick, but I think Brady's the one who gets that bad reputation for it.
All I'm saying is Olympic athletes, if they are caught cheating and they won medals when they cheated, those medals are revoked, right? Barry Bonds, all his awards should be removed. Tom Brady should be the same thing. Anything that he won on years where he was caught cheating should be revoked, whether it's a championship, MVP, whatever awards he won on a year that he was caught cheating should be revoked.
So you think that the Patriots should lose those titles?
Absolutely.
For the Tom Brady situation, because I mean at that point you're saying Olympic athletes, that's an individual sport. This is a team sport. It's not like
You have to come up with a way to punish it.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's not going to change.
The only way that would make any sense remotely is if you would take away like an MVP award. I don't think a Super Bowl vote or the Super Bowl trophy you can take away because it's a team effort.
You can't really take that away from the entire team.
Exactly. He was not the only. I mean, he wasn't the only person playing. And I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's such a team sport. It's not just him doing everything. Where Belichick, the way he runs that team, he has control of that team. That's his team.
Yeah, so he should lose his rings.
So all right, Belichick's a different story, and that's what I've been saying. Belichick, I think, doesn't get any of this bad press, or as much as he should. I think it's always Brady who's getting
because he's the king of football.
I mean, he's a great mind, but I mean, with the whole tape thing, he tells Brady, "You run this, you run this." Brady's just so great at executing it perfectly.
Yep. I want to tease some things for next week so we can move on to some other really big news. I want to tease Nate Diaz getting his boxing license. To fight Conor.
I think that was more of a joke, but
I think it's a joke too. But I think he's serious.
I think that's hilarious.
I think he would do it. So let's talk about that more next week. Let's dive into it because I want to do a little research.
That's so funny trolling that he's just.
It is.
Trolling
He's trolling
Conor.
him. He is.
All right, we'll come back to that. That was
but let's
so
do some
funny.
research and see if we can see if there's any traction to it. I mean, maybe it's something that could really happen.
Yeah.
And then what's that next one?
Last week, it was. Last fight was Terrence Crawford fought John Molina Jr. and Terrence Crawford knocked him out in the 8th round. Terrence Crawford, a really great fighter, hasn't really been getting that. With boxing, it's a lot harder now, especially for them to kind of build up their names unless you're a superstar already or have like a superstar backing you up. That was a good fight. And one fight because I know you sometimes ask me if there's any like good fights coming up. It's going to be Danny Garcia versus Keith Thurman. That's going to be an amazing fight. That's going to be a great fight. They're both really aggressive fighters. They're both undefeated. So it's going to be a really good fight. It'll be a brawl, hopefully. But my money would be on Keith Thurman on that one.
Nice. Okay, so big Dodgers news. This is it. Remember I was saying there was two things we had to do. I said we have to re-sign Kenley and re-sign Justin Turner. Okay? It has officially happened. Both those guys are locked in. They're still working out the kinks with Turner's deal. But Turner, the reports that I've been reading is that Turner's locked in. They just have to work out some little details, but they're not details that would deals. Take it away. Yeah. Kenley, originally, the deal was reported at 4 years, $80 million, which would have made him right, which would have made him the richest closer in MLB history at $20 million a year. Well, since the contract has been, since we had a couple days for a lot of the rumors to die down, turns out it's 5 years, $80 million.
Still not bad though.
With an opt-out after 3.
Okay.
So it's still a great contract for the best closer in the game, and arguably one of the best in history.
Dude, I should have became a baseball player. Well,
seriously, dude.
I should have probably wished that I had the athletic ability to become a professional athlete.
I should have stuck with baseball, man. I played it for 12 years. If I would have stuck with it, man, because I was getting scouted by college. No, dead serious. When? Before I got hit in the face.
Wait, when? When did you play high school? When did you play baseball? I've known you since freshman year?
I played pony baseball for 12 years. From the time I was real little until right at high school.
So when did you stop? When you were like what?
At high school.
Like when you entered high school?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm like, because the only thing I remember you playing was you played golf.
Yeah, I played golf.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was because my coach loved the swing that I had.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But yeah, man, I wish I would have stuck with it.
You should have.
It's crazy.
You should have like, what concussion?
Right? Dude, I got nailed in the face with a weird. I was in the batting cages, and the pitch, like, it went up and then it curved and dropped and hit me right in the face. Broke my nose, gave me 2 black eyes. I had a little micro fracture in my bone in my cheek.
Oh, that sounds bad.
But it messed me up, dude, because I could not see. Before that, I could see the pitch, right? Like, I could see the way the ball was rotating. It's almost like it comes in slow motion.
Which, yeah, in those moments, it does.
Yeah, it's like it's coming in slow motion. You can see the way it's going, and you're able to connect with it. And I was a really, really good hitter. Yeah. After that, it was a blur. I couldn't. It wasn't about being, scared of getting hit or anything like that. It was that I could not see the ball.
Your
it was
senses
just a
weren't
blur.
The same anymore?
Yeah, it was like my spidey senses were gone.
Oh, that sucks.
It was really weird, man. But anyway, so Dodgers locked up Kenley Jansen, locked up Justin Turner, and there's other big news that they are still aggressively going after Brian Dozier, second baseman.
I heard that
he's a slugger.
I heard they were going after someone else. It was one of the other big names that you told me about. I forgot.
Well, they're still looking at trades for Ryan Braun and for Andrew McCutchen.
Okay, I think it was. I don't know if it was Ryan Braun that I had heard. There was one that I was reading that it was one of the names that you were telling me about.
Ryan Braun is gaining some traction, but there is a lot of debate happening within the Dodgers organization about. Yasiel Puig.
That's the one that took the MVP from Kemp, right?
Yeah, from
Braun?
Matt Kemp when Braun was juicing.
Wait, did they take his trophy away?
No.
Oh, okay, but
they should take it.
You want to take it away from Brady?
No, they should take it.
The hypocrisy is real.
Baseball. No,
hypocrisy
it's no different in baseball. Alex Gonzalez. I'm sorry.
Alex Gonzalez.
Or Rodriguez. Sorry.
I was like, I don't really follow about that much, but I've never heard of that person. I'm like, is he talking about A-Rod?
No, I was thinking about Adrian Gonzalez.
Wait, he's juicing too?
No, Adrian Gonzalez.
Oh, I was like,
juicing.
no.
No, I was thinking Rodriguez and said Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, man, it tarnishes the record. But anyways, to stay away from that conversation, I think that the Dodgers' best move, if they are going to, the problem is that they're debating in-house whether or not they really want to part ways with Puig, because they feel like he's such they feel like he's such a raw talent that they're struggling with the idea of letting him go, because if they let him go and he becomes the superstar that we all know he can be, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot, or as I like to say, kick yourself in the face.
Yeah. We should make that a drop, like where we just push it and it just comes up.
Kick yourself in the face.
Well, you have to say it like a really funny way.
But so that's the debate right now. They're struggling with the idea of letting Puig go. They're also struggling with the idea of trading De Leon, because in both those trades, both teams are asking for Puig and De Leon. And that's tough. Yeah. I think for McCutchen, you make that deal. But for Braun, that's a tough decision to make. I mean, you're talking about a really promising young pitcher, and a guy who just can't seem to reach his potential. True. So I would be fine with Puig and another prospect, maybe a top 150 prospect, but not I don't know. De Leon for Braun is not a good trade for me. Yeah. McCutchen, I would be fine with letting those two guys go, because you're going to get a lot of production out of McCutchen, and we have our pitchers all locked in. So, I mean, as far as like Jensen and all the free agents, I think we're good to go there.
For sure.
Yeah.
I did want to just ask you, kind of just off of sports for a little bit. Did you see that new Fast and Furious trailer?
Yeah, I was excited to see it until I watched it. And then I was like,
ever since I heard about that they were making, I'm like, they ruined it. They ended it perfectly with Paul Walker, rest in peace. Way he kind of just drove off into the sunset. They went in their own lanes. I thought that was beautiful. It was a great way to end it. Even though that movie itself just kind of seemed like it was a little over the top. I'm like, really, they're going from like building a building in a car. They're flying down from a plane, dropping in from a car. I don't know. It just seemed like excessive. I'm like, okay, that's super like ridiculous now.
Yeah, it's become an unrealistic, like weird kind of superhero / villain.
Exactly, and it's not
Like villains gone good type thing. It's weird.
and it's lost the substance of like the actual quality of the movie. So when they were saying this one, I was like, I'm not excited for it. And then I saw
it's
it,
not
and I'm
street
like,
racing anymore.
exactly. And I saw the preview, and I was like, yeah, that's not that great. I'm like, yeah, I'll wait for Redbox or like.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
TNT.
watch it in the theaters for sure because I mean, come on, Toretto being a bad guy turning on his family.
And there's gonna be like a plot twist at the end. Oh, I was good the whole time. I was trying to save you guys.
It's
dumb
I
shit
don't
like
know. I mean, it's become so predictable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, you really can predict exactly what's gonna happen, what the storyline is, just by a trailer.
Pretty
you know?
much.
I think both of us could probably write the entire movie just based off watching the trailer.
Oh, I'm sure we saw like 95% of the movie in the
I
trailer.
don't know if I talked about Moana. I know I said that
didn't.
we were going to watch it, so
You
I
said
took my
you
family to
wanted
watch it.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah,
Okay.
dude.
How was it?
They did an amazing job really grasping Pacific Islander culture
Nice.
and Hawaiian culture,
Yeah.
you know, and the Samoan culture and the
Is it like a musical?
well,
not
there's a
musical,
lot of
but there's
song in it,
okay,
but
okay.
it's not a musical.
Oh no, but that's good. Yeah, no,
yeah, it's not like
'cause
song every 5 minutes.
Okay,
you know.
No, but I like it when they do that. Like they incorporate it, kind of like like Frozen or whatever. Like
Yeah.
they have songs here and there, but it's not a musical.
And Rock's actually got a pretty good voice, man.
I saw like a scene of it, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, he could carry a note.
Yeah. But it's got a really cool twist at the end, and it's really, I mean, without giving anything away,
Spoiler alert.
it's you think that it's man versus nature, but it's really nature versus man,
Okay.
right? In the sense that it's man taking from nature and destroying nature, and nature just wanting to get back to its natural self.
Okay.
It's really cool. I mean, the depth of the story is really awesome, and that's why I say it connects so well with Hawaiian culture, because Hawaiians in particular are very, very. It's very important to them that the land is protected,
Yeah.
and that the waters are protected.
Yeah, they're
it's
really
sacred
in tune
to them.
with all that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're in tune with nature.
Yeah.
Um,
Which is, I think it's so awesome how they do that.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. Like they have like this different vibe from them, like to them, and how they see things, like the beauty in the world that a lot of us kind of just overlook a lot of times, which is
and
dope.
there's a lot of positive aspects in it, about having confidence in who you are, and not trying to be something that you're not, and that in doing that you tend to cause more problems than good, even though maybe your heart is for good. You're just trying to do the right thing, and it had a lot of really good storylines. I was definitely proud to have my kids who are Hawaiian, who have Hawaiian blood.
And your wife.
Yeah, my wife sit there and watch that. I felt like it was a very good representation of their culture, and they were able to sit and enjoy it. Obviously, the baby's too young for it, but he got excited when he saw the colors and everything that was going on.
Yeah,
so,
the dancing
and the
pictures
dancing.
and
Yeah.
all that,
It was really cool.
I heard it's really good with the main character, which is the little girl, right?
Yeah, she's actually a 16-year-old Hawaiian girl.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's the main character in the movie, and the
I heard it's
story's
like really
about her.
uplifting for girls and stuff.
Yeah,
girl stuff.
yeah,
Which I
absolutely.
think is awesome. I mean, I have a little girl. She's going to be 4 months next week. So yeah, it's something that I would want her to see. I want to watch it before that, but I'll definitely like buy it for her and stuff. But I think that's awesome.
You know what's funny is she has the exact same shaped head as you, like identical.
Who?
Your daughter.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Moana. I was
No,
like, what?
she's like a little baby girl version of you. It's hilarious.
Dude, don't tell it to my wife. My wife will get pissed because when I tell her, like when people say she looks like me, she gets mad. She's like, I want her to look like me. I'm like, why? She's like, I want the boys to look like you. I want the girls to look like me.
Oh, I do the same thing. I get irritated because people always want to say like, oh, he looks like they always say like, oh, Keone looks like so and so or so and so, and I'm like, no, he doesn't. He looks like me. And then I was
he
well,
does.
no, and I'm like, no, he doesn't. He looks like me.
He does. But earlier when I was looking at him today, I'm like, you could see some of your wife in there. You could definitely see it. But I mean, like with my daughter, I think she looks like a mix between both. She has my wife's eyes, like 100% that, like right away. As soon as she opens her eyes, I'm like, your mom. But yeah. Oh, did you see Despicable Me 3? They made a trailer for that. That looks hilarious.
I haven't seen it yet.
We need to watch that.
Yeah.
But you know what that means? Chris's favorite time of the day. It's so annoying.
Lakers are struggling, man. But
Yeah, I do want to ask you about that. Okay, let me ask you a question. So the Lakers have lost 8 straight now, right?
Yep.
They're on an 8-game losing streak.
Yep.
They started off the year phenomenal. I'll give them their credit. They did really good. They did better than I thought. I still very firmly think they'll win 35 games, which I think is a great accomplishment. But right now, they've lost 8 straight. Do you think it's time for Lakers fans to panic? Do we expect this, or how do you feel about this?
not at all. It's definitely not time to panic. The reason being is because there were a lot of injuries. Meta World Peace got to start. That's how bad the injuries got.
The Panda's friend?
Yeah, the Panda's friend. So we had D'Angelo go down, and then we had Nick Young go down, and Tarek Black and Jose Calderon, and Mozgov even missed a game or two. It was just, it's like we got the injury bug, and it hit us all at once. Luke did his best to try and keep the team
together,
the second unit together. But at some point when you have 2 of your 5 start, and then Julius Randle was out too. So in a 1 week period, we had 3 starters out: Julius, Nick, and D'Angelo. And then Julius came back after about a week and a half, and then D'Angelo and Nick were still out for another week and change after that.
They just came back recently, right?
Yeah, and Nick and D'Angelo just came back 2 games ago.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to kind of give them some time.
Right, they need some time. I mean, Nick came out firing. Nick came out, had a 17-point game. He was balling. D'Angelo was a little rusty. So
it's expected.
But he also had a knee injury versus Nick having a calf strain. So, it was and D'Angelo was out a lot longer. He was out about a week longer than Nick. So
how long was he out for total? Like 2-3 weeks?
It was like just under 3 weeks.
Okay.
He missed a lot of games, man. So, I mean, it's definitely not time to panic. I would say if we get to the end of the year, the New Year's game, and they still have not won again yet, yes, I'm going to start being a little concerned as to what's going on.
Are you really going to be concerned, though? The main thing I'm trying to remind you is we did not expect them to win a championship this year. They're a young team. Like, they're going to have their bumps and bruises. They're not going to do anything this year, but wouldn't you at least just want to see, as long as you see progression, shouldn't that be the main thing you should look forward to?
Yeah, I mean, right now, based on record, they're still 9th in the conference.
They're 11th.
No, they're 11th, but the reason why I say 9th is because they have a better they have more wins than Denver and Sacramento.
Oh, okay, I see that.
So, all it takes, because they've played more games.
But yeah, they have 2 more losses, so games. That's why they're under, right?
Right. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely am not panicking. I'm a little confused as to why they're having so much trouble getting back to the way it was before the injuries. It seems like they're playing a lot of hero ball. They're not moving the ball as well as they were, and they're not talking enough. But again, they're a young team. The problem is that what happens a lot of times when there's injuries and when losing starts happening is a player will say, "It's on me. I have to be better."
Yeah.
Right.
Which is
D'Angelo has said
PC
it.
Answer, yeah.
Well, it's not even PC. It's how they truly feel. James Worthy talked about it.
Well,
players actually feel that when
they don't want to call everybody else out either. I mean, especially like there. I think I meant PC in the sense to where I don't think if they truly feel that someone else is messing up, I think that that's probably a conversation that they're going to have in the locker room.
Right, but what I'm saying is like that what you and I are saying are 2 different things in a sense. I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that the player's mind is, I have to do more because because we're down. And James Worthy talked about it a little bit, and he said, the biggest thing that a young player has to understand is it's not on you to do more. Just do you. If you continue to do you and the team continues to play as a team, you will find a way to win. When you start trying to do too much, that's when you hurt the team. And that's what I believe is happening right now, is that there's too many different players trying to do too much. And they just need to get back to being a team, playing as a team, and the wins will come back. But I think we even talked about it. I think like week 3, I said, there's a chance the Lakers are going to go on a losing streak towards December.
I never remember you saying that.
Yeah, and I said if they do go on a losing streak, nobody's going to know about it because the national spotlight will have died down at that point.
No, I didn't say you didn't say. I'm just saying I don't remember.
Right. Yeah, but I'm saying it's I kind of predicted that this would happen. You're gonna they're gonna have losing streaks. And it's okay because there was so many injuries. If they were having these issues and there were no injuries, then yeah, I would definitely be concerned. But
dude, they're young. It's gonna happen. You're not gonna just go on a 30-game winning streak.
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna learn. Wouldn't you rather them have these experiences now? It's the beginning of the season. This is when you can make mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have them now instead of having them, when you need them to go on a 3-4 game winning streak to possibly make playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, my only concern right now is that they're 6-7 at home. They need to have an over 500 record at home. You must, as an NBA team, you have to have a winning record at home.
What's the record right now at home?
Right now at home, it's 6-7.
Okay.
Which is, I mean, when you look around the league,
it's borderline there.
Yeah, when you look around the league, I mean, it is right around average for some of the greater teams. The Warriors,
the Clippers, Clip City, Chip City. That's right.
They haven't won a chip.
Yeah, but they will. Oh, okay. Can we?
They will.
Yeah, they will.
When they get past the second round.
Yeah, that's the championship, right? They go to the championship every time. Did you see Chris Paul? 20 points and 20 assists with 0 turnovers. Was it Saturday? Tell me that's not a great accomplishment, though. That's dope, right?
He's like, one of the.
Don't give him a backhanded compliment. Don't give him a backhanded compliment.
Dude, I love Chris Paul. I think he's a phenomenal player. It just sucks that he's on such a crappy team.
He's on the Lakers.
So, but it's funny that you bring him up. Next week I want to talk about the differences between him and Rondo. Him and Rondo are both seen as like basketball Einsteins.
Yeah.
They're like geniuses of the game.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, Chris Paul has always been able to command his team.
Yeah.
And lead in a positive way. For some reason, Rondo has always clashed with different people, assistant coaches, players, whatever. I want to talk about that next week and just kind of dive into it. What is it about Rondo and what is it about Chris Paul?
Rondo got that stigma. It's it's like one of those sticky titles or sticky labels where he got labeled either an a-hole or whatever you want to call him. So anytime he expresses his frustrations, it just goes, he's just an a-hole. Exactly. Whereas Chris Paul, he's known as a hard worker and like a team player. So whenever you see that passion, that aggression, it's his heart, it's his dedication.
Yeah. So, Rondo got the Kobe treatment. But let's dive into it next week. Cool.
Kobe treatment.
Man, we're already at an hour.
An hour and a minute. Dang, that's kind of far. All right, we're gonna wrap it up for episode 12 on Unhinged Sports Talk with Andy and Chris. I'm Andy. This is Chris right here, and we just want to say thank you guys for listening. So download, share, listen if you want. I mean, as long as you download, that's fine. And yeah, just hit us up with the questions and appreciate all the support.
Have a great week, everyone. It's a holiday season, so do something for somebody, even if it's buying a coffee for the person behind you in line. Let's all do something great for somebody this week, and let's see how it turns things around and move us in a positive direction. Have a great week, everyone.
I love that positive message, Chris.
Yeah.
Good job.